In a lush, vibrant forest lived two very different animals, a speedy hare named Harper and a calm tortoise named Trevor. Harper loved to boast about his speed, always challenging others to races. One sunny morning, tired of Harper's constant bragging, Trevor decided to take up the challenge. "Let's race to the top of the hill," Trevor said, his voice steady and determined. Harper laughed. The idea of racing a slow tortoise seemed ridiculous. "All right, but don't feel bad when you lose," Harper replied, his confident smirk in full display. As they lined up, the forest animals gathered, intrigued to see the outcome. The race began with a burst. Harper dashed ahead, becoming a mere blur as he sprinted down the path. Trevor, on the other hand, took one slow and steady step at a time, his eyes focused straight ahead. Halfway through the race, Harper decided he was so far ahead, there was no harm in taking a short nap under the shade of a large oak tree. He lay down, closed his eyes, and soon drifted off into a deep sleep, confident in his impending victory. Meanwhile, Trevor continued at his steady pace, never once looking discouraged, even as the sun bore down and the path seemed endless. As he approached the oak tree where Harper lay snoring, he didn't stop, he simply plodded on. Hours passed and finally Trevor was nearing the finish line. Just then, Harper woke up with a start, realizing it had been longer than he'd intended. In a panic, he bolted towards the finish line, but it was too late. With one last step, Trevor crossed the finish line, greeted by cheers from the forest animals. Harper reached the line just moments later, panting and in disbelief. He learned a humbling lesson that day. Being overly confident and dismissive of others isn't the path to victory. And thus, the story of the tortoise and the hare traveled far and wide, teaching everyone the value of perseverance and humility.